All right, welcome back. You're watching No Reservations. I'm Ayeshah Alam Khan. Thank you for joining us this evening. It is now time to go back to our wonderful guests. As journalists, I mean, you're not just a journalist. You're a father, you're a mother, you're someone's sister, you've got children. There's other commitments as well. Has there ever been a time where you, for example, promised your kid something, or you promised your husband, hum khane pe jayenge or whatever, because these are your prime basic realities of life, and you had to break those commitments for work. Talit is making one of his famous faces right now.
I'm guilty of my son's birthday. And during that conversation with my guest and others, I came across a fact that this show has to be postponed till 10 p.m. And from 10 p.m. to 11, it was a live show. And when by 12 I reached home, my son's birthday had passed. Till today, and maybe all my life, I'll be guilty of that.
I'm sure. I hope your son has forgiven you by now, and I'm sure he will.
Well, they're so different. I mean, not because they're my son, but I think they're brave boys, and they understand the problem that the mother faces, and I think I'm one of those lucky ones, blessed person who have encouragement from home.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why I'm here.
But what about you? I mean, does your wife wield a stick on your head and go, "What were you thinking?"
For reason
this
that
is your father-in-law, for crying out loud.
Yes.
Be there.
Yeah, I mean, she does that for reasons nothing to do with my profession, I suppose. There are other sides to my personality, I guess, which will require the wielding of the stick.
Well, do share some of them with us.
We have to be politically correct. You've already told us.
No, you don't have to be politically correct at all.
No, but on this thing, yes, it does happen. Again. News is not going to wait and trim itself according to our schedule. Events are going to erupt, and they are not going to be at the choicest of places.
Yes.
That is Islamabad, Karachi, Lahore. They can happen anywhere in Pakistan. And therefore, I guess you got to do what you got to do. As long as you're able to come back to your family and, not make up for what you couldn't do, but actually be able to do other things with them.
But do you think, honestly, being in this profession puts a strain on your marital relationships, for example?
Not mine at all. Because I think there's so much tolerance at home. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. A woman who is a successful housewife, a successful mother, and a successful career woman, she cannot be. She can have either be a successful career woman or a successful housewife. Unless there is support from home.
Okay.
And I think I'm one of those lucky ones, again, I'm saying, who has support and understanding. So imagine the cake was cut after 12.
Right.
12:30, because by the time I reached, my son said, no, let the mom...
You really have never forgiven yourself for this.
No, let the mom come and then I'm going to cut the cake. So what I'm trying to say is, there is sense of understanding at home. That's why I said I'm lucky.
Do you think that in today's day and age, male journalists are taken more seriously than female journalists?
No. I don't agree with that at all.
Okay.
I don't know about others. I can say about the women whom I'm in touch, I come in contact with. Most of the women who are running the newspapers, who are running the magazines, who are running the shows, I think they're more into it, more into profession. They have to prove themselves.
Right.
So I don't think it's at all.
I think they're taken very seriously, and they are
one of your role models.
And they're in ever larger numbers.
Yes.
Of course, you have.
I believe Maliha Lodhi was.
Was there. Then you had Razia Bhatti,
Was Maliha Lodhi your mentor?
She was my mentor. She was my editor. I worked with Razia as well, writing for Newsline.
Yes.
And then you had Sherry Rahman, who was handling Herald at that time. And then not just some more noted names, you have any number of people. Even the producer of this show is a female, and she's a fantastic female producer because and she's a producer first.
I have to say this on air.
Yeah.
My producer is fantastic.
Yeah, and she has massaged our ego so much.
She's massaged our egos fantastically.
There's no room left in the studio anymore. So from camera crew to producers to editors, more females are coming in, and which is so great and fantastic, and they're taken very seriously. And frankly, sometimes they also have a slight advantage because difficulties aside, slight advantage is that people would not take liberties with them.
Do you think in the advantage you can also push the limits a little bit further than perhaps your male counterparts?
It's the same story with the male, but I think women try to in order to prove herself as a perfectionist, I think she has to go through a very hard exercise.
All right. Okay. Fair enough. Who's that one person? I'm going to ask each of you this. Who you interviewed who left you absolutely speechless?
Well, I'm not much of an anchor if I'm speechless. But figuratively speaking, frankly, no one. I'm not there to be impressed by people. I'm there to.
Or no one's ever disgusted you that much.
Oh, the list is too long. Your time is very short, really. But then again, you have to get through that terrible time of suffering people because they are your guests and you have invited them and you need to talk to them. But the question really is not whether people impress you or not. The question really is that what sort of a grip they have over their subject. Okay, let me shock you by saying that from the initial days to the very end, I thought General Musharraf, that of course I can't stand politically, sounded very convincing. And he could have a very strong argument with you or a counter argument. Now, whether the basis of that argument was strong or not, that is besides the point. He was a good person to interview. Your foreign minister is remarkable. Some of the local politicians are great. I mean, the other day I was talking to Jamil Bukti. He was very articulate.
Who have you really enjoyed interviewing? You like, oh my God, this was one person I really enjoyed.
My last interview with Mr. Jaswant Singh.
Okay.
He has tear in his eyes. When I was talking to him, he literally... he broke down when he was talking about Jinnah, off the record and on record, about Pakistan, his yatra to Pakistan. And he said the amount of love he got in Pakistan. And I thought, oh my God, this is the guy. When I watched him earlier on Tim Sebastian's show, I thought he was a hawkish, he was extremist, he was this. And look at his personality. He was a totally different man. So why did I have that wrong perception about him? But a man whom I have not interviewed, but whom I have met, was Governor of Calcutta. He's a grandson of Mahatma Gandhi. Because of his knowledge, because of his command of 3 different languages, Urdu, English and Bangla, because of his sense of poetry, aesthetic sense, so developed. And I said, my God, I wish we also have leaders like him. Wow. Imagine a governor of Calcutta who is a grandson of Mahatma Gandhi and absolutely pure personality, I am impressed with
fair enough.
We have Salman Taseer.
Well said. Very well said. Okay, now today is our Eid show. This is the first day of Eid, and for example, on big occasions, you have Eid or you have whatever, Bakra Katna hai, or whatever it is, and you're suddenly called out. Even on, are any days untouchable when you say, you know what, I don't want to hear from you, I don't want you guys to breathe near me, my phone is off, and I am off the planet as far as you are concerned. Have you ever drawn a line?
3 consecutive Eids I was at Indus.
Really? So you never draw a line? You never draw a line professionally?
No, there's no question of drawing a line. Once you're a professional, you have to be a professional. You have to prove yourself.
I said, news wouldn't wait for your occasions. I think being in the executive and administrative position, you can be a little careless to others and enjoy the luxury of actually passing on your responsibility to others. And why don't you go ahead and cover this for you? But if you're not administratively resourceful, then you have a problem.
A complete person is someone who's able to draw a balance between both lives. Do you feel that perhaps that's something that has been worked on, or is it just work, and are you a workaholic?
I'm not a workaholic. Work happens to me, unfortunately, and therefore I have to, but I'm not a workaholic but you try to do your best in terms of spending time. But we are normal people, right? We live balanced lives, right? I'm looking for endorsement, that's important.
Yes, we are, right?
We listen to music.
What kind of music do you listen to?
Oh, all sorts. You talk to me from heavy metal to hard rock.
Really?
Absolutely. And I'm trained on some of the best in terms of listening. I was 6 years old. I was in class 6, not 6 years old, when I was listening to B.B. King, for instance.
Wow.
Not that it made sense to me. The blues didn't go with my age at that time.
Right.
But yes,
we were exposed to it.
Yes. And therefore, I have very little time for modern music, unfortunately. So, we live normal lives. It is just that too much work cuts into what people perceive to be a normal routine.
Does that bother you sometimes?
It does bother me personally, but at the same time, one cannot be ungrateful. I mean, after all, you believe that you're doing something important, and others believe that you're doing something important, and that important thing also gives you some results as well.
Yeah.
The least you could do is to measure up.
Yeah. All right, well, on that note, it is now time for us to move to our next round, which is the AAA round. It's always a fun one, but that's coming up after the break. Stay with us. You're watching No Reservations.